Welcome to another edition of Rocky Top Rundown, your one-stop shop for everything Tennessee athletics. I'm Bryson Ritchie.
And I'm Peyton Gravel. As always, it's been a busy week on Rocky Top for Tennessee athletics. This past Sunday, the Lady Vols volleyball team took on the Texas A&M Aggies at Food City Center. The 12th ranked Vols swept the Aggies in 3 straight sets, the first being all defense, holding them to a .135 hitting percentage. It was no surprise that Morgan Fingal led the team with 15 kills, with Janasia Moore right behind her with 9. Erica Lovett also recorded 11 kills on the night. Fingal, Moore, and Lovett currently lead the team with a combined 718 kills, and it showed. It is the 13th time the Lady Vols have brought the brooms out this season, and they look to take the momentum to Gainesville this weekend. Their overall record after Sunday's game stands at 18-3 and 9-2 in SEC play.
The Lady Vols sweep will definitely provide a confidence boost as they head on to Gainesville on Friday to take on the Gators in another top 25 SEC matchup. Well, the Tennessee Vols football team has had an eventful last couple of weekends of SEC play where they took home victories over Texas A&M and Kentucky and lost to Alabama. Up next, Peyton and I will break down the last few weeks of Tennessee football in a new edition of Talkin' Tennessee. First things first, let's check out what previous anchors had predicted for this 3-game stretch.
Things one game at a time if you're Tennessee.
I think so. I agree with that 100%. It's about taking it one game at a time, and I tell you what, I think Tennessee's going to do that. I can see them going through this stretch and going 3-0 by taking it one game at a time. I think this bye week they have in between that 3-game stretch is massive for them. And I think they're going to go 3-0 through these teams, and I think they're going to prove to themselves and to the college football world that they're here to stay.
I mean, I like your thought process there. I definitely think this bye week is huge to allow this team to get healthy. You mentioned Dante Thornton. He missed this past week against South Carolina, so a chance for him to get healthy, as well as a lot of other guys as well. But for me, I think 2-1 is probably where you'll see this football team end up. We've seen them. They have the talent to beat anyone on their schedule. We saw that this past week. However, we've also seen many times this season they have the ability to play down, lose to almost anyone as well. So I think ultimately you'll see a 2-1 stretch. For me, I think Bama will trip them up.
UT is going to have to settle for another field goal. Last chance for A&M, 4th down from the 45. Johnson gets his team set, snaps the ball. He's going to have to back up about 10 yards because of the way that Vol defense had been playing. Throws it over the middle, right up to Kamal Haddon, tips it to himself. Just another massive play from the Tennessee corner. He's made so many in the recent weeks. That takes the win to 20-13 and moves the Vols to 5-1 on the season.
What do we think the score is going to be?
Obviously, last year, high-scoring game came down to a final field goal. I think it's going to be a little more different this year. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, still tight. I have Tennessee 27-24.
And I am not a homer, and I will choose Alabama 30-21.
Jihad Campbell would pick it up and take it to the end zone to give the Tide a 14-point lead and make it 27 unanswered points in the second half. With the game on the line, Milton would overthrow Squirrel White in the end zone for a decisive 34-20 win by the Crimson Tide.
For the touchdown, the Wildcats refused to go away. Now, here we go, 4th quarter, handoff to Dylan Sampson. He had a great second half, and he finishes it off with a touchdown.
Well, Bryson, as you can see from our predictions, sometimes you win some and sometimes you lose some, and that's what happened to the Vols the past few weeks. Let's talk about Texas A&M a few weeks ago. Sold out Checkerboard Neyland Stadium. The Vols win 20-13. I personally was most impressed by D. Williams with that 39-yard punt return in the 3rd quarter to put Tennessee ahead for the first time that game. I think it was a combination of a productive run game plus special teams plus defense that allowed the Vols to secure that win over a good Texas A&M opponent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's nothing better than a checkerboard game home in Neyland Stadium, but in worse news, let's switch over from Neyland to a away game in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Let's talk about that Bama game.
If we have to.
It was an unfortunate Vols loss, 20-34, but on the positive side, I thought the first half was absolutely explosive for the offense. I think we performed great. I don't think we brought that with us in the second half of the game.
Left that in the locker room.
Yes, Alabama held us scoreless while putting up 27 of their own. And I mean, that scoop and score in the fourth quarter, that was devastating. That put the Tide up by 2 scores.
The nail in the coffin, huh?
Yeah.
This past weekend, we know the Vols beat Kentucky 33-27 in their first true road win of the season. Let's talk about Charles Campbell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was the special teams SEC Football Player of the Week, and deservedly so. I mean, his kicks from the 49 especially, I was so impressed with that. He was absolutely MVP of this game, in my opinion. Deserved.
100%. Homecoming in another sold-out Neyland Stadium this weekend is not looking like the best place for the UConn Huskies to be this Saturday afternoon. The Vols have opened up as a 35-point favorite over the Huskies, who are heading to Knoxville with a dreadful 1-7 record.
Yeah, I think this Saturday's a bad day to be a Husky. I'm going to make my score prediction, but I'm really hoping I'm not going to end up in black and white on next week's episode of Talking Tennessee. But I predict a 35-7 game. I would be really excited to see some play from Nico Iamaleava, especially if we put up enough points that first half. I'd really love to see kind of our younger roster and just look ahead at what Tennessee football is going to look like in the next couple of seasons when some of our senior players graduate. But just kind of give us that insight.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see Tennessee put up big numbers in the first half, and like you mentioned, see Nico get some minutes in the second half. Moving on, the Tennessee basketball team went on the road to face the Michigan State Spartans this past Sunday in their first preseason exhibition game. Let's get out to East Lansing for the action. The Vols start strong with this steal by transfer Jordan Gainey and assist to fellow transfer Dalton Connect for the dunk. Next possession, Gainey gets another steal and lays it in for the early 9-0 lead. Meshack dishes to Gainey in transition for the 3. Lots of Meshack action here. Meshack then drives and kicks it to Connect, this time for the 3. Meshack again gets it to Gainey, who drills the contested 3. Gainey would finish with 20 points in this preseason matchup. Michigan State's Isaiah Booker hits the 3 to cut the lead to 10. Connect drills the long ball. He'd finish the day with 28 points and 7 boards. Michigan State's Cohen Carr with the powerful dunk in the middle of the lane. And Josiah Jordan James hits a 3 to open the second half. He had 8 total points on the afternoon.
Let's look over to Michigan State senior Tyson Walker. He's going to hit a 3 here to bring it within 1. Walker scored 22 total points in the exhibition. Jonas Adu uses his length to force a steal, and Meshack, he's going to slam it home on the other end. Meshack finished the day with 11 points and 4 assists. Dalton Connect with the steal here, crossover, posterizes the defender. Man, that Northern Colorado transfer is something special. I'm excited to watch him this season. Adu slams it home after a tip pass from Josiah James to extend the Vols' lead. Walker gets it back within 1 in the Wild Arena for a preseason game against Michigan State. The Spartans' Jaden Akins hits a 3 to keep them alive. His second 3 of the game right here. Look at that. Down 3, Walker attacks the rim to get it back to a single-point lead. 11 seconds to go. Meshack lobs it to James, and chaos ensues as Michigan State comes in with it. And A.J. Hogarth hits the 3 to the tie. Jordan Gainey is then fouled and goes to the line to likely win it for the Vols.
After missing the first free throw, Gainey clutches up on the second to give Tennessee the lead. Adu bats down the last-second heave, and Tennessee escapes East Lansing with the win. With the preseason now wrapping up, Tennessee can look ahead to their matchup against Tennessee Tech Monday night. Speaking of basketball, let's shift gears a little bit here and check out how the VFLs have been doing in the NBA. Let's send her to reporter Ashley Rodas to see what's been going on. Take it away, Ashley.
That's right. The 2022 to 2023 NBA season was a good one. The Tennessee Volunteers had 7 alums that were active this past season. 5 of those 7 were recruited and coached by Rick Barnes. The amount of seasons that these Tennessee alums have been playing the pros ranges from 1 to 12 seasons.
Tobias Harris is playing for the Philadelphia 76ers, and he was in his 12th season and is a regular starter for the 76ers. where he is averaging 17 points per game. He is also averaging 6.4 rebounds and 1.3 steals, as he is shooting 48% from the field and 40.4% from three, but 85.4% from the free throw line. Now the next longest Tennessee alum in the pros is Josh Richardson, who just finished up his 8th season with the San Antonio Spurs. He averaged 10.7 points in 21 games last season. This former Tennessee guard also has 3 starts under his belt. Richardson averages 2.4 rebounds while shooting 41.3% from the field and 36.8% from the three. Grant Williams just finished up his 4th season with the Boston Celtics. Williams started in 13 of their 28 games last season. The 2-time SEC Player of the Year winner is averaging 9.3 points, 4.5 rebounds, while mostly coming off of the bench. Now we have Admiral Schofield, who played for the Orlando Magic last season. That was his 2nd year with the Magic. He has played in 18 of the 29 games this past season, but no starts. He is averaging 4.1 points and 1.6 rebounds, while shooting 44.3% from the field and 33.3% from the three. Keon Johnson also finished up his 2nd season, but was playing with the Portland Trail Blazers. Johnson was traded by the Los Angeles Clippers midway through last season. Johnson recently returned from a hip injury that cost him just over a month of games. He's played in just 9 games and averages about 5.3 points and 1.8 rebounds when he does play. Now we have another player who also finished up his 2nd season with a pro team, but not only that, he is also a Philadelphia 76ers. We have Jaden Springer. He has played in just 4 games this past season, as he has split time between the NBA and the G League. Springer is averaging 2.8 minutes per game. Last but not least is Kennedy Chandler, who just finished up his 1st season with the Memphis Grizzlies. He was drafted by his hometown team with the 38th overall pick. The former Tennessee point guard hasn't played much this season, but is in a great situation as he learns from Jamorant and Tyus Jones.
In Knoxville, Ashley Rodas, Rocky Top Rundown.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, we might as well keep the theme of basketball going and see what the Lady Vols have been up to lately. Reporter Katie Taylor broke down Monday night's season opener with junior Karoline Striplin before the game. Let's check it out.
The Lady Vols women's basketball team faced off against the Carson Newman Lady Eagles for their first exhibition game of the season this past Monday. After coming off a successful season, the Lady Vols are looking forward to continuing their winning ways. I got a chance to hear from the Lady Vols' own number 11, Karoline Striplin, on her preview of the upcoming season.
So, obviously, Karoline, what are some goals for the team this upcoming season?
Yeah, obviously the ultimate goal is a national championship. But over the past 2 years, I feel like our team has shown spurts of what we can do, and we've made it to the Sweet 16 2 times in a row, and then obviously making it to the SEC championship last year. It really kind of lit a fire underneath us and helped us realize that we can do so much more than that. And I think that our goals really stem from just doing better than we have in the past.
Mm-hmm. You talked about making it to the SEC championship last year and then Sweet 16 last year as well. With the success that you had last year, like making it to the championship, making it to Sweet 16, what do you think from last year that you can take into this year's team as far as like leadership goes?
Yeah, I think that for me, it's just a matter of like staying locked in. We have a long season. I think that really every sport has a long season, but with basketball, I think it's unique because it goes from one year to the next. And I think just being able to have that experience of making it that far in March, and just being able to like coach up and help my teammates and help them understand that it's just going to be a grind and we got to lean on each other to get things done.
Mm-hmm. And then y'all play Carson Newman tonight for an exhibition game. Can you kind of explain like how that works? So like, is it like everybody's going to get a chance to see the game, or just kind of explain how that works?
Yeah, I think that the game versus Carson Newman tonight will just be a chance for us to play people that don't have our jerseys on. It'll just be a good experience for, yes, everyone on the team to kind of get their feet wet and give us a chance to work on things that we've been putting in practice and actually implement them versus a real team.
Hmm. And then, so we talked about the team. What are some goals that you have for your individual self for this year?
Um, I don't know if I have any distinct like numerical goals, but I would just like to see myself pull down more rebounds than I did in the past. I think that's a big emphasis that Coach Kelly has been preaching over the past few months, and just as we've been in preparation for our games. And I think that rebounding is going to be a big key for us and our success. And then I'm going to try to keep my free throw percentage up and just try and be as efficient as I can, scoring around the basket and 3-point percentage.
Thanks, Katie. The Lady Vols ended up dominating this season opener, beating Carson Newman 105-72, with 6 Lady Vols scoring in double digits. In upcoming news, the Lady Vols were one of 2 NCAA teams selected to face off against the Women's USA national basketball team. This exhibition matchup takes place this coming Sunday, 6 p.m. at Food City Center. Well, that's all for this edition of Rocky Top Rundown. I'm Bryson Ritchie.
And I'm Peyton Gravel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.